Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I wanted to get away from the live streams for a little bit because I've been doing several of those, which I really like, but I can only do audio. And so many people were saying like, Van, look, we miss seeing your face. So here I am. I did my brows. I'm going to do a kind of a get ready with me video because I wanted to try this new makeup that I had been seeing on Instagram. It's called Il Maquillaje or Il Maquillage. I wanted to try it just because they say it's supposed to be like your perfect foundation. Like you're never gonna need another foundation ever in your life because this is gonna be the most perfect match in the world. I was supposed to try it a long time ago, maybe like around a week ago. But I've been going through it just because December is a really tough month for me. Holidays in general are tough for me. If you've been on my channel before, you know why. If you haven't, it's because I lost my little sister, Samantha, to cancer. She was 6.5 and she passed away in 97. And this year she would have been celebrating her 30th birthday on December 16th. So, the holidays are always really hard for me. I have been crying off and on pretty much all day, pretty much for several days. Probably weeks now. It's been an ordeal and I'm trying to hold back my emotions just because I feel like I've done enough crying on my channel. So I'm going to try my best to be strong because even though we're doing a get ready with me video, I'm still going to be talking about some pretty deep topics. Just because y'all know that I treat my channel like kind of like a YouTube diary, so to speak, in between the mukbangs and having fun and, you know, talking about my real life, you know, uncle daddy stuff and all of that. I like to share everything with y'all, not just the good and not just the fun, but also the not so easy to talk about stuff. So in this video, we're going to be talking on a subject that I think a lot of people tend to deal with, and that's toxic family. And I have a very toxic family member. I grew up with the person and has pretty much been toxic my whole life. I was, growing up, I was not just mentally abused, but I was physically abused also. And let me just put some setting spray on really quick. I always feel like if that just like cleanses my soul. So I grew up in a really tough home. I was taught not to talk about a lot of stuff growing up. I was always told like not to say anything and you keep it quiet and nothing that goes on in this house is to be talked about or spoken about or told to anybody outside of this house. So for the longest time, I kept it a secret. And I always knew that there were like issues, you know, like mentally, but I just didn't ever realize the extent of those issues up until there was one incident. We were neighbors. I was told by this toxic family member that they were getting kicked out and it was my fault, which was like kind of like the common thing. Everything that goes wrong is always my fault. Like that's just how it was in life, right? So before I start everything, I'm going to first put my my under eye concealer that I liked, that I found at NYC. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that first. So that's what I'm going to be doing while I'm talking to y'all. So anyways, pretty much anything that was wrong was my fault. And in this instance too, my toxic family member told me that the reason that it was my fault was because I wasn't picking up on their telepathic messages, and I wasn't being receptive to that. And so I didn't get the message that they needed help paying their rent. And for that reason, that's why they were getting kicked out. True story. Blew my mind. I was just like, what? But when this all happened, I was going through the police academy. When this happened, I was going to school full time. I was working full time. I was a full-time mother. I was doing it all. And so I definitely wasn't able to pick up on any telepathic messages. So this family member knew, of course, because they were my family member, knew that I was going to the police academy, knew that I wanted to better my life, knew that all my life, all I had done was struggle, and made it a point, since they were getting kicked out and I wasn't, and I was, because I paid my rent and didn't pick up on the messages that I was allegedly being sent, made it a point to let me know how miserable they were with me and how they were gonna try and ruin my world, like make my world come crumbling down, which I thought was really crazy. I was like, what? The words that were said to me was, basically, I know everything about you. Which I was just like, oh my God, because I was like, well, I know that I'm not a bad person. So pretty much anything that you could say about me, I mean, I'm just going to have to tell, because when you go through the police department, there's a detective that they do like a whole background search on you and stuff, because they want to make sure that they're getting good people in the department and stuff like that. And I guess they were trying to like put some fear in me, or like have some type of a power over me, and basically like use that as a threat. But what I did was I decided to just let the detective know. And I let the detective know, like, look, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what's being said. This is what's happening, just so you know, okay? So while this is all going on, one day, my daughters, and mind you, because I was still neighbors with this individual, one day my daughters get off of the bus, because they would ride the bus, and one day they get off of the bus and they're like crying, like with so much emotion, like with sentimiento, like they're like, when you cry like that, and like they couldn't even talk. And I was just like, what happened? Like, tell me what happened. And because I'm like a mama bear, like, you mess with my kids, you better get ready for these claws to come out, because I don't play, like, not when it comes to my kids. And this person knew that, right? So my kids get off the bus and they were like crying like so bad. And I was just like, what happened? Like, tell me what happened, because I knew it wasn't good just by the way that they were crying. I knew it wasn't good. And when I told them, like, breathe, calm down, like, tell me what's going on, they finally were able to tell me that it was, this toxic person had these kids beat them up on the bus. And I was just like, oh my God, like my heart sank. I just was like, and this is when my daughters were like smaller. When this happened, of course I was upset. I was livid. I was like, why on earth would you possibly think, like, why would you do that? So instead of going in person, because I did not want to lose my shiznits, so I call this person and I'm like, this is what happened. Why did you do this? To which they laughed. They were like, and at the time I didn't realize that it was that they were in I call them episodes, because I don't know what else to call them. I didn't know at the time. It wasn't until after that, and I don't even know if it's true, because this person has lied so much, like so much, that I don't even know if half of anything that they've ever told me is even real. So at the time that this is going on, they're laughing and ridiculing me, whatever. And I was like, you need to tell these people to stop. Like, you need to get these girls to stop beating up my girls on the bus. Like, this is some serious stuff. Like, I'm going to make a report, which I did. Not just with the police department, but also with the school. And I was like, I'm going to make a report. And if these kids end up telling the cops that you are behind and you are inciting them to do this, I hope you know that you are going to be in real trouble. To which they were like, you know, I told you that your world was going to come, I would see to it that your world would come crumbling down, which I was just like, wow. And at that point, I was just like, I can't believe that this person who should be a family member, the main family member who should love me and care for me, is even telling me this right now. Like, and it's like, my kids are your blood too. Like, I don't understand. If it was my old self, I would not be handling it like that. I would definitely not be handling it like that. And I'm gonna like miss work and I'm gonna go handle this. But I did it in the right way. Because I found out at a young age when I was always getting into fights and all that. As I grew older, I found out like there's a wrong way and there's a right way to handle things. So I try to handle it the right way. So I went to the school and I let them know what was happening. And I cannot, oh, there it goes. Oh, it's a pump. Ooh, I like that. So I always like to spray a little bit of this on here. And then put a little bit of this. And it says only to put 2 pumps on my whole face. So that's what we're going to do. So let's see. It's not coming out. 1. There's 1. 2. So I let them know. And at this point, of course, I'm like, we are done. Like, we are done. Like, I would never be able to do that to one of my kids. Like, we are done. Like, I told my sisters, like, y'all need to deal with her. Like, y'all need to deal with this individual because I can't do it no more. Like, all my life, I've hid so many things. I've sucked up so many things. Like, y'all don't even know the extent of, like, the chaos that this person can create. So I feel so bad because y'all are definitely going to see. But I can't anymore. I just can't. Like, once my kids are getting endangered, like, I can't do that anymore. So at first there was confusion on my sister's parts and they were just like, what are you talking about? And I don't even know if I'm doing this right. I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do. And oh my God, it is my shade. What? Okay, wait, this is crazy. This is crazy. It's like liquid skin. Oh, wow, this is crazy. Wow. The people that are close to me, like, know all of this. The reason that I'm bringing it up now is because the behavior is continuing, okay? And it really never stopped, to be honest. Like, it really never stopped. And it was true. Only 2 pumps of this and it really, really worked. And this is not a sponsored video, y'all. This is not a sponsored video. But that brings me back to my point. The reason I'm talking about it now is because since my channel is growing, I've noticed that this individual is starting to like reach out to people and do like more crazy things. So like when this person wasn't in my life, which was for a good while, I think it was like for about 3 years, maybe even more, I did not have any like stress. I wasn't like worried all the time about like, or triggered, you know, because of like growing up with this individual and stuff like that. And the mental, like, you know, just the mental mind games that this individual would play. I didn't have to deal with that. And so I really, really enjoyed it. And it was actually like like I felt alive. I felt free. And it was amazing for me. And it took a while for me to get used to it, but it was just such a great feeling. So then you fast forward and I got really, really sick. And as many of you may know who are on my channel already, I have a lot of health issues and I was really close to death at one point and I went through treatment and stuff and it was this whole crazy like ordeal. And I really was just like, you know, making amends basically in my life because I was like, I'm probably not going to make it. This individual was a constant, like always reaching out, even when I didn't, you know, want to hear from them or whatever. And It was during this time and this moment in my life, like when you're at that moment in your life, like you don't want to leave the world with any like ill will or any bad feelings or bad blood with anybody, you know. And that was the only person in my life that I had like any of that like with. When they reached out and stuff, I let them know like I was really, really sick, and you know, all of the pain and stuff that I was in and how horrible I felt. And it was just a vulnerable moment for me, and I allowed them back into my life. Okay, I did my lips, and now I'm gonna do my lipstick. I really, really like this one from Maven, and it is called Snatched. This is my, it looks a lot like, so I have a Jeffree Star lipstick, and it's called Celebrity Skin. And so this is a really good dupe for that one. So I prefer this one, and it's called Snatched by Maven. So if you're looking for one and you don't want to buy Jeffree Star Cosmetics, hey, I'm just saying, buy the Maven. It's very much Snatched. It's very much the same shade, very similar. And it glides on like butter. I don't even remember where I was at. Fast forward, I was sick. I let them back in my life. They were on their meds and everything. Everything was good. And things were good. Like, they were really there for me in a time like when I actually needed them the most, which I was very, very appreciative of. Oh, this is just my setting powder. Sorry. In that moment, for the first time in my life, I felt like they were an actual family member to me. Like, actually there, actually the way it's supposed to be, you know, like the way that I am with my kids. Like, that's how it felt in that moment. So I was really appreciative of it. You know, my sisters at that point had already known the craziness of this individual, just because since I wasn't, it took for me to move to a whole nother state for like things to stop. Because when I was in Texas, like they would go to my house and do things like just to let me know that they were there. Like move a pot on my front porch, or like take down a sign that I had on a tree, or like write on my mailbox with like, I don't even know if it was lipstick or red paint or what it was, but like with the B word and like all kinds of and they didn't just do that to me. They did that to my aunt, which is the my aunt that now pretty much is the role of my mother, because it's my aunt, the one that my uncle is my dad. And my family knows all about this, and my friends know all about this situation and everything. The only reason that I'm bringing it now to my channel is, number one, like I said, it's like my virtual diary, but also because now it is kind of affecting my channel, because now this person is reaching out to people that watch my channel and that support my channel, or that are following me on Twitter, or that are following me on Instagram, or, you know, that are collabing with me. And so it's just like, girl. Now, the second time that everything fell apart was when I found out my uncle was my father. Now, I've talked about that on my channel. I've talked about, you know, how that kind of went down. I'm trying to think of what I'm supposed to do next. It's the bronzer. For whatever reason, this toxic family member tried to make that whole situation about them, and is still trying to make it about them, which is really weird, but I kind of get it, but I kind of don't. This family member was the one who encouraged me to initially make that video. It wasn't until this family member saw some people in the comments that were saying some not so nice things about them that they went off on my channel and started to like tell people stuff and all of that. I was like, how are you going to be going off on people? Like, and I'm basically repeating the story that you told me, because I didn't know, I wasn't there. Like, I was being made. I didn't know what happened, you know. And since we have all seen from all the videos, like that story had changed multiple times once I made the video, and the perception of people like was a little bit what they didn't want it to be. Then of course they changed their story, and it since has changed multiple times. So I don't even know what's true. All I know is that the truth that I'm taking for my own self, and the one that has been like more consistent and hasn't changed, is the one from my uncle, daddy, and the one from my aunt. And that story is that they were not dating. It was just a fling. It happened. I was made. That's what it was. And there you go. And that don't even matter to me. Like, what matters is that I'm here. Like, and now I know who my father is. And like, I was rejoicing in that. That's where it went sour, because the story kept changing and the focus was so much on the story of how I was made and like before I was made. And I was like, none of that matters to me. Like, what matters to me is the here and now. Like, hopefully I get a chance to have a relationship, and hopefully I get a chance to, like, you know, make up for lost time and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's what mattered to me. But what mattered to this person was all about them. And even like, oh, maybe they'll accept me, you know. And I was like, accept you? Like, I don't know. I mean, if I was your sister, you know, after what you done did, I wouldn't want you around. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just didn't see that happening, but I just thought like maybe just somehow things weren't clicking, you know, like, I don't know. So I really didn't say nothing about that. So you fast forward to where on my videos, you can see where I had an issue where they found abnormal cells in my breast that are they're like precancer. So at any point in time, like, they're in there, girl. They living in there. I'm on treatment to hopefully keep it so that it doesn't turn to cancer. But they're there. And they can turn, you know, my oncologist said they can't predict when it will turn to cancer. But it can turn to cancer, like, in any moment. It could be doing it right now. I don't know. Like, that's just how unpredictable it is. When things fell apart this second time was because when I was going through that, all that this person could focus on was how what I was hearing from, you know, my aunt and everybody else was a lie. Their story was the truth. And they were upset that I was even talking about, because I wanted to be fair on my channel and I wanted to tell everybody's story. So I had already told her story. And so when, you know, my cousin and everybody else had told me other people's stories, I wanted to be able to be fair and share their stories on here too. Like, I felt like that was only the fair thing to do. And so that's what I did. And so, of course, this individual just got more and more and more upset. I said exactly what you told me when you encouraged me to make the first video. There's gonna be people online that are not gonna 100% agree with everything that you say. I mean, look at my videos. I mean, even under that video, I get people that don't agree with me. Even under a lot of my videos, I get people that don't agree with me. It happens. It's the freaking internet. It's YouTube. Like, not everybody gonna like you, girl. Like, not everybody even like me. But I think that their judgment was clouded because here's the thing. They saw the video and then their first, like, reaction to the video was like, ooh, I hope she gets mad. And I was like, who? And she was like, your aunt. And I was like, what? Like, out of the whole video, that's what you thought? And she was like, I hope that B, you know, she called her a B or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not here to put blame on anybody. Like, I just want this video out there because one family member from, you know, my father's side reached out. So like, if others, like, this is a weird situation. So if other people reach out, like, and they look for me the way that, you know, that person did, I hope, the only reason I want to put that video out there is because I want them to know, like, hey, I hold no grudges. I don't hold no kind of feelings towards nobody. Like, it is what it is. What happened, happened. I'm here. Like, I'm y'all's family. And that's it. Like, that's all that I could do. Like, ain't no sense in focusing on the past because you can't change it. You can't, like, unmake me happen. You know what I mean? Like, anyways, like I said, it was supposed to be about the foundation, which I really like the foundation. I think they did a really good job. Like, I would really highly recommend this makeup, Il Maquillage. Like, I thought it was going to be another Instagram gimmick, but it wasn't. It was really good. So now that I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and finish off. So, let me just take a little drink. Honestly, at that point in my life and in that time in my life, I was going through so much. I was scared that I was going to be facing what my little sister passed away from, which is cancer, what my grandmother passed away from, which is breast cancer, both cancers. My little sister's was leukemia and my grandmother's was breast cancer. So I'm going through all of this, and I'm like, when you're going through that, you're like, so many things don't matter. Like, a lot of things that matter most of the time on any other given Sunday, they don't matter to you in a moment like that. And that, all that just did not matter. And this person just did not understand that. And I was hurting, I was crying, I was going through, the possibility of thinking that I might not be on this planet much longer. Because in my mind, the bigger picture was, well, you know what? Now I have my father's side of my medical history. And I've said it time and time again, like now I feel like with that side of my history, like it's more helpful, because now that's why they're going in and they're looking at things and they're even doing this surgery, because I never had my father's side of the medical history before. I didn't know that there were, several aunts on my father's side that had breast cancer too, which makes my risk even higher. I didn't know all of these things, but of course I listened and I just let it happen. But then while I was going through it, and of course, even though I felt a certain type of a way, and I was like, really just like, girl, this is just not, like, I just felt some type of way, I still said, like, you know what? I'm a mother. And if one of my kids was going through this and like we really were not on the best of terms, I would still want them to know, because I would want to go and be there for my child. Like, no matter what, I would want to be at the hospital. I would want to hold their hand. Like, I would want to be there, pray for them while they're in their surgery and all that. Well, so I told, this person, I was like, I'm going to let you know, like, this is what I'm going through. It may be cancer, like, and we're going to have this surgery done. We're going to see what happens, right? Well, what I was told was that basically the doctors just wanted my money and that it wasn't real, and that I was just, if I allowed these doctors to treat me like a guinea pig and continue to allow them to do this to me, which I was like, why would I just want to allow them? Like, oh yeah, I want the C word that has taken my family members. Like, yeah, give it to me. Like, I want to be your guinea pig. Like, why would I, like, anyway. So, I was told that if I continued to do that, I was going to end up like my little sister that passed away from cancer. Now, when I was told that for me was just like, I had just had enough. I was like, enough. I'm done. I can't. I have like to deal with my own things that I'm going through right now. Like, I can't be trying to explain like I have my whole life, trying to make you understand like I have my whole life, like trying to make you feel something. And this person does things, it's like they're never, like, they don't ever take no accountability. It's never their fault. It's always everybody else's fault. They're always a victim. It's a very much a victim mentality. And it's just, that's just the card that they've played their whole life. So it's like, I just knew the patterns and I just couldn't deal with it at that time. Well, in that time in my life, I'm going through all of these things, and this person knows, I know several, multiple people within this city that are like, prestigious people and very big names in this city. So this person is taking it upon them to use my name and like try to, like, I guess, get in good with these people or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, like these people are coming and telling me what this person is doing, and like, oh yes, she's my relative, saying who I am and all that. The people that I know were saying like, oh yeah, I watched her YouTube channel. And back then I didn't even have like, I didn't even have the amount of subscribers that I have now. And so, but they were just supportive and everything. And so they were like, oh yeah, I love her channel. And then this person decides to go ahead and say like, oh yeah, well, the only reason that her channel is even a success is because of me. And I was just like, what? So when I'm being told this, I was just like, what? Like, wow, okay, go ahead and believe that, girl. Anywho, so I fast forward to where, several of these things are happening. And then, I'm just like, please just don't use my name with people. Like, they tell me, and then you're saying all of these bad things, like, because then she was running into relatives and she was trying to tell them, like, oh, y'all shouldn't be mad at me for, finding out, for Vanessa finding out, which Vanessa is me, for Vanessa finding out who her father is. If anybody, y'all should be mad at her. And it was just like, what? So all of this was going along and happening while I'm just here, like, trying to deal with everything that's going on in my life, right? And, I think at that point I was already put on treatment to hopefully keep all of the, breast cancer away. Fingers crossed, hopefully that it's working. And, so I'm going through all of that and I'm just like, oh my God. And it's just so much. And in between, I try to like say, like, please stop, like, stop doing this. Like, you're hurting me. Like, you're hurting me even more than I'm already hurt. Like, I'm already hurt to have to find out that my father is my uncle. Like, I'm already hurt that, that just me even existing and being born into this world is like, so messed up. And I don't even like messing with my family and, things like that. Like, and people are like, not just I'm hurt in the situation, but like there's other people that are hurt in this situation. Like, I already feel all types of different ways. I'm going through this whole breast thing for my own peace of mind and my own way of dealing with my things. I kept this toxic individual at a distance because I felt like that was the one way that I could help guard my heart and what I guess you could say, like, what little bit of hope and light and happiness that I did have within my soul. But this person does not know any boundaries, does not know any distance, and wasn't able to do that. So in between what I'm dealing with and everything, then this person is spreading lies and, just saying all of these things that are not true. And I'm just like, oh girl, here we go, right? I don't know if y'all could tell from my old videos to these new videos, but because of the whole breast cancer stuff and everything, my oncologist told me, like, the more weight that you lose, the better, because breast cancer grows through estrogen, which is your hormones as a female. Breast cancer also grows off of your fat cells within your body. So the more weight that you lose, the better chances that you get that this treatment is going to work and that it's not going to turn into breast cancer. So I was focusing on that. I was on my weight loss journey. I was doing all of these things, going through my treatment, which I'm still going through, and trying to better myself. Within this whole process, I start to feel so good about myself. I'm looking better than I ever have. I'm feeling better than I ever have. And I have so much of this, like, new look on life that I'm just like, oh my God, finally, like, I feel like I'm able to breathe again, right? And like my channel, like I'm doing all of these things. My channel is growing. And then I still got to hear about this toxic individual who keeps reaching out to people who support me or who follow me and like basically trash talking me, which really, really hurts because this is a family member. And it's like, girl, like, I don't do that to you in your political world. Like, why would you do that to me? Like, why? Like, it has taken me so long to make this video. And it's so crazy because it's like every time that my heart is like, okay, we need to get to working things out with this person. Like, we can try to meet a middle ground and try to talk things out. And hopefully you can, forgive them once again out of like, because I've forgiven so many times. And so maybe you can do it again because it's family and maybe you can make it work and maybe y'all can talk it out, and go through the same old song and dance that you had before. Like every time I would want to get to that point, this person would just go about and just do some shenanigans that I would just be like, maybe that's a sign like from God or from whoever. Maybe it's just a sign that I shouldn't. Like for my own happiness and my own life. And not only that, but for the safety of like my kids and my family, like, because there's other things having to do with like mental stuff that I don't want to get deep into, just because when you get into the psychological parts of like things that have happened, like it's very real, like fear. Is this person gonna hurt my kids again? Like, are we gonna have to go through all of this again? Like, but even within all of that, I still was able to forgive because I felt like this is family. And it wasn't until very recently that I started within my whole health journey and just feeling better and not being so like, don't get me wrong, I'm still on my antidepressants and my anxiety meds. I don't know if I'm ever going to get off of those, but feeling so much better about myself and feeling in a much better mindset and healthy place in my life. I just felt like, being away from that toxicity just did me so good. Like my soul was so happy and so good without this person. And it's like with the burden of all of that. And don't get me wrong, I'm all about helping people. Like my whole life with this individual was like, okay, I can help this person. Like I can be an active individual in this person's life, like to help them see why this is wrong and like work through it. And like, we can make it happen. And, and this person can change and they can grow and be a better person. And I thought sometimes that we were doing that, very much that, and that we were getting there. And then there would be a relapse into the whole, situation, and things would happen mentally that would just throw everything off. And it was just what I would call episodes, and I was just like, oh my God, here we go again, another episode, and I would just have to brace myself and just deal with that, and it would bring me down. And for the first time in my life, I didn't have to feel that anymore. And then with this person who is just doing all of these negative things for like attention or for whatever it is, I felt like that was another reason I didn't want to make this video, because I was like, if I make a video, then I'm giving them the attention that they want. But even if I'm not, like right now that I'm not making any videos, even before I even started YouTube, even from the beginning of my life, this person was already doing these things to me. So it was kind of like, I felt like I very much feel like this person is a stalker, which is crazy because I never in a million years would have imagined that a stalker of mine would be like a family member. I never ever would have imagined in a million years that would have been the case. But that's very much how it feels, because I have begged. I've tried so many different ways. Like I've tried tough love and like letting this individual know like, hey, I need my space. Like you need to stop. I've tried like, being soft about it and being like, please, like stop. Like you're hurting me. I'm already going through enough hurt and confusion about this situation and about my health and about everything else. Like, please, just, you're not helping. I've tried to let this person know, like, look, you're family. I don't want to have to involve a lawyer. Like, I don't want it to get to that point. But you are reaching out to people that I work with. You are reaching out now to try and affect my income. Like, now you're reaching out to people that I collab with on the internet. I'm to a point in my life where, and this has been so long that I've been working on, and it's been it's so hard, because I wanted to just talk about, like, I know that there's other people that deal with toxic family members and they hurt so deeply, and it's so hard to deal with, especially around the holidays. And I just want to let you know, like, that I had to come with a realization that it's okay to not have them in your life. And I just, after all of these years, and I'm already going to be 42, y'all. Like, my birthday is January the 4th. I'm going to be 42 years old. It has taken me all of these years to finally come to a point in my life where I'm like, you know what? There is no going back and forth anymore. I don't deserve this in my life. I deserve to be happy. I deserve for the people that are going to be in my life to be happy for me and for my successes and for things that are going on in my life. I deserve to have people in my life that if I do fall, they're going to be there for me. They're not going to be tearing me down. They're not going to be making me feel worse when I'm on the ground already. Like, they're going to be trying to lift me up, and they're going to be there for me. And right now, in the place that I'm at in my life, I have that without this person in my life. And I hope that this person can understand, because it's not just me that doesn't speak to them. It's not just me that has an issue. You know, it's your other daughters too. It's your other family too. It's your friends too who have reached out to me trying to get like a grasp on why you are this way, and you just don't get it. You just don't. And so I tried calling, but I think my like phone calls are blocked because I couldn't get through. Like there's like 16 or so different numbers, because like if I, don't respond to one number, then I don't know if there's an app that like creates multiple numbers or what, I don't know, but there's like so many different numbers. I tried calling them all, they wouldn't go through. I've tried emailing, I've gotten no response. All I know is that I was going to try to respond to you and to let you know this, like not in person, but like over the phone. So I just wanted to let you know, because I know you watch my videos, because you make it a point to befriend the people that have anything bad to say about me. I see it, I know it. And that's just very much within your toxic behavior. I get it. That's just who you are. And I don't think you're ever going to change. I just want to be happy in my life. And I hope that you understand that. And I hope that one day that you can look and see like what it is that, because we can only control ourselves and our own actions. So every time, if this was one of my kids and one of my kids was telling me this message and saying like to me, like, Mom, I can't have you in my life anymore because you're too toxic. And I just can't. So I don't want you in my life. If that was one of my kids telling me that, I would ask, okay, what is it that I can do to grow and to learn? And how can we work on this together so that way we can have our relationship and we can make it work? That's what I would do. Now I know that we're all different, and I know that that's probably not going to be what you're going to do. And I'm fine with that at this point in my life. I really, really am. I really haven't seen people talk on the level of where I'm at about like how they have toxic family members who kind of like turn stalkerish because they like make multiple accounts to be able to try to follow you on and to try to be able to like see who your friends are so that they can follow them and reach out to them and just trash talk you. Like I haven't seen, like, it's kind of like if those two subjects are just melded together in my situation, because I've seen videos about toxic family members, and I've also seen videos about stalkers. I just never thought that mine would be like a family member, and that's the only difference. And so the only other reason that I'm making this video is so that way people in the future, if you do and especially because I do want to be able to make this channel a brand, and I'm working on that. And when I do get sponsors and stuff, I've seen how some people can try to, we've seen it happen just, when friends get into a fight, they try to affect people's sponsors and all that kind of stuff. So, and it's something that's very, like, I could definitely see this person doing, and I'm just putting it out there so that way not only y'all know, but that way that brands know too, so that way, just like going back to in the beginning of my story when I was going through the police department, and I had to let the police department know about this situation, and they were very understanding, and they understood, that was the situation in my life that has been my whole life. The only difference now is that I just want to move forward in my life with being happy, and and without any toxicity in my life, and that's it. The reason I'm making this video is because I don't want you to have a power over me anymore, that when you reach out to people and you talk badly about me and lie about me, I don't want you to have a power, because you did before, but you don't anymore. And I don't want you to have that power over me anymore. So you can go ahead and you can talk, and you can go ahead and you can spread horrible messages and horrible lies about me and do whatever you want. But I hope that one day that instead of being so busy trying to tear me down as a person, as your family member, I hope that one day that you can put that energy into building yourself up. Because if you would put half of the energy that you put into trying to tear me down, into building yourself up, then you could probably be in a much, much better situation in your life. And I hope that for you. I wish you all of the best in your life. And I hope that you get the help that you need. And I hope that you take care of yourself, because that's very important. I really, really hope that you do. And I hope you know that you deserve so much better in your life. I also put this out there because I know the way that some people can be in the drama community or in just the YouTube community in general. I know that people might try to turn my situation into some tea, and I hope that you know that real family issues like this, even though I share them on my channel, and my family knows about it, and you know, I even have family come on my channel. It's my family, and if you ever do try to make tea out of it or whatever, like, I don't know, that just speaks so much more about you. I know it's a weird combination, like doing makeup and talking about these deep issues, but I just wanted to do it just because, you know, I'm not going to sit here and fake a funny video or, you know, anything like that. I'm going to be real. And that's just the mood that I'm in. And those are the things that I'm feeling. And that's what I'm going through in my life. I'm sorry if it wasn't like a funny video and it didn't, you know, lift your spirits. But if anybody out there has toxic family members, I hope that the message for you is that, you know, yes, it's always good to try to make it work. I tried multiple times and for many, many years. I wish that it would have worked out. And it's always good to do that. It's always good to try. But if the person that is toxic in your life continues a pattern, and if they don't change, and if they don't show that they want to change, and they're not respecting your boundaries and the feelings that you have and the hurt that you have when they disrespect you in their toxic ways, it's okay for you to put up boundaries. I know that when it comes to family, it can be hard, and family can make you almost guilt you into like, you're not supposed to feel like that, or, oh, suck it up, or, you know, you better not talk about this to anybody, or make you feel some type of a shame in talking to anybody about it, or even ashamed of even putting up your boundaries and saying like, you know what, I don't want this in my life. You are toxic and I don't want this toxicity in my life. It's okay. Like, it is okay. I'm here to honestly tell, and I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist or anything like that, but it is okay. Like, just because they're family, I mean, anybody else, if they were anybody else that was a toxic person, you could say like, you know what, I don't like that person. Like, this coworker is so toxic. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and stay over there. I'm not going to really talk to them. I'm not going to hang around with them. I ain't going to go out with them after work. Like, I'm just going to keep my distance. It's okay if that person is a family member. That's perfectly fine. And hopefully they're open for discussion, and hopefully they're open to work on things so that way y'all can make it work and y'all can respect each other's boundaries. And, you know, not everything's going to be perfect. You might not work on everything together, but, you know, anything's possible. And I hope that for you all. But if it's not, and if people do not respect your boundaries, and if there are toxic family members that just continue, even no matter how many times you tell them how much they've hurt you, and how many times you tell them that this is something that you don't want in your life, and if they don't respect that, then it's okay to walk away. It really, really is. I hope that y'all have a good holiday, and I hope that this video helped you. I hope that if you know somebody who is dealing with something like this or has been in this situation, that you can share this video with them. Again, I'm not a counselor by no means whatsoever. Don't get that twisted. There's been so many of you that have been so supportive, and I'm so grateful for you all so much. So thank you all for that. And yeah, I'm just sending y'all much love and many blessings and holiday cheer and good vibes. And I will see y'all next time. Bye. Take care of yourselves. Bye.